With the Colts, and there is Mahaffey, the fullback, and in pregame warm-up on the confident Christensen, and he couldn't even remember Mahaffey's name. That will get him into the game somehow. He had not seen his pass yet. He's done the job for the Colts. On first down, D'Angelo Williams carry. How does it look in Pat?
Well, I think he looks pretty good. He had a major impact on that drive. Here he is here, and you got an 8-man front, and watch him go through and get the kickout block on the safety, Charles Godfrey. I mean, the timing is absolutely perfect.
And because of the new rules with pads in practice, you pick a guy up, you're not sure how he does, and he helps the Colts get into the end zone. Meanwhile, the working part for Carolina at second and 4. Next up 6. Number 25. That's after Greg Olsen right here at the top of the street in Hawkins. That's how it appears to be okay. Jonathan Stewart is going to fight for a Panthers first down. Came in averaging 4.5 yards a carry. Every time they've got him, they've been productive.
And Greg Olsen had the big block. He didn't go out for a pass, but that's one thing. When you look at Carolina, once Olsen, he's going to get the seal down here on Jamal Anderson, who's out playing right defensive end. I mean, he just hand battling with him and is able to. Well, that was Jerry Hughes again, was able to get him turned and give the edge to Jonathan Stewart. That's the thing about these tight ends in Carolina is he and Shockey are so versatile. They can both block, they can both catch, they can both run, so you really never get a good key on where the ball's going. Typically, an inline blocking tight end is the guy that's going to give you a hit.
And Newton goes down. Robert Mathis. 5.5 sacks this year.
Well, Robert Mathis just comes through the watch up inside. I mean, he came all the way from the left defensive end spot and came underneath the protection and found himself a little crease and then the ability to finish on the quarterback.
A loss of 12. Panthers in a hole here now. Second down and 22. Good thing.
The way it is, offense, 5-yard penalty,
Want to back him up further.
And that's what this defense needs, a little confidence boost. Get some good things going. It has been really several games since Green and Mathis have had a real big impact on the quarterback. Already today, they both either had some hurting, some pressures, or that kind of shot.
And not with Cam Newton leading. I mean, he was almost philosophical when we met with him yesterday about the losses so far this year for this team. Complete. That's the running. They'll bring up third down. The Panthers have to get out to the 42 to get a first down.
If Cam Newton, you pressure him, he will make mistakes, Chris. He had 4 interceptions against Detroit. And the two big ones early in the game down in the red zone, both times the Lions had pressure right in his face. So he will take risks with the football if you pressure and make mistakes.
Larry Flores can bring you pressure on it's all case. Incomplete, gravity of fall is out of bounds. It'll be fourth down.
Good illustration of the arm strength by Cam Newton. Larry Foyer showed some pressure, then the defensive coordinator, then he dropped the linebackers out. Cam saw it, felt the pressure coming from behind him, and he just launched a rocket off of his back foot that lapel dropped.
And with those 14 interceptions this year, Cam threw it in an area where his receiver would be better. It's going out of bounds and complete. The air goes forward, back for the punt. And he runs back, and the Panthers with an excellent special teams reaction to a poor move on the part of Pierre Valaris after a 51-yard punt with a 7-yard loss on the return. Panthers with a 3-point lead, but lopsided much more in the time of possession in favor of Carolina so far.
And many more opportunities. When you talk about ball control and time of possession, at the end of the day, it's been 26 play opportunities for Carolina, only 10 for these players.
From the 15 on first down, it's Donald Brown again. he had the touchdown run, and it over an 80-yard drive for the Colts. They had a 42-yard pass interference penalty that helped set them up.
And it was the lead play again. They're going to run this all day long, and you're going to see the open lane against this Carolina defense. They're going to get that fullback matched up on linebacker all day, and then let Donald Brown, whoever's running the ball, make the read off the backside.
Brown stays in. They need 2 for a first down. Right at the 25-yard line. Fox Sports is proud to bring you the inaugural conference championship game. So the Pac-12 and the Big Ten on back-to-back nights, Friday night and Saturday night. 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. Wisconsin and Michigan State will play in this very building here in Indianapolis.
How does UCLA get pounded 50-0 by the Trojans, and they're going to represent the Pac-12 in the championship?
Your USC bias is showing.
Yeah, that's all right.
No face Oregon history. Hey, Matt Barkley might be playing at this level real soon. So they did get the first down from the 25. Taylor has it. He's under pressure, and a tackler. Corral to the 27-yard line. Charles Johnson had a hand in it, so did Andre Neville.
All right, just great handwork by Charles Johnson. That's 15 sacks in the last 18 games. Here he is, and he's just going to get to the edge and push the hands up of Lincolnbach. Lincolnbach will get his hands out on Charles, and boom, lift the hands up. He's able to dip underneath him and get in on and get himself the sack. I'll tell you now one thing that they're going to have to do in their run defense, the issues all year, they're going to have to start slamming the front and studying the front against that lead play. So Indianapolis is going to keep getting big success and big runs with it.
Second and 12. Get a game for it there. Check in with Kurt Benefit.
Jets coaches and players say they need to run the table, so that run starts with a Buffalo, they hope. Justin Cutler, 3-yard reception to Mark Sanchez, ties the score at 7, with just over 7 plays in the first half. This is it.
Thanks, Kurt. Now to New York in the AFC East on third down. Brown remains the back. His throw is hot for Austin Powers. They'll bring up fourth down.
Well, and listen, they have 6 defensive backs on the field. Carolina rushed 4 guys. Indianapolis kept 7 guys in to protect. That means only 3 guys out in the route. Going against 7 guys covering, 6 of them being defensive backs. It's a little wrinkle that Ron Rivera does defensively. 4 D linemen, 1 running back, 6 defensive backs. There's no chance to get help.
On the Edwards, back to receive the punt. And Edwards has run. There's a penalty flag down as Edwards goes out of bounds around the 30 of Indianapolis, where the punter, McCaffrey, ran with it.
I think it was Tony Corrente, the referee, that was the one that threw the flag.
During the return of the kick, illegal block in the back. Receiving team, number 91. 10-yard penalty, first down.
So the penalty's on Keon Wilson, and it cuts into a 45-yard return after a 55-yard punt.
And there's 91. There's Keon Wilson there. No, that was 81. I think it was 93. I think it was Antoine Applewhite. That's what it looked like. That was Steve Arnott there.
I'm just going by what the referee calls out. You know, he has a doctor's appointment coming up, Nathan Manning, and we'll tell you about that. Come on, we were down working our sources. He has a great attitude, Peyton Manning, considering where he is and the uncertainty of it all. He called the power about 4 times. I mean, wait a minute. Yeah, Lucas gets that. Down the middle of the field, off the hand! Steve Smith had almost intercepted. Probably should have been by David Caldwell.
Absolutely should have been by David Caldwell. Ball was a little bit hot. There's tremendous velocity on him. Cam Newton throwing off the run. There's Steve Smith on the inside. It goes right off of his hand. Hips and overthrows over the middle of the field. commonly end up going the other way. David Caldwell just dropped it.
You know, Smith played a little defense here, just like he's trying to aggravate Caldwell. But now it's 2nd and 10 for the Panthers, who it does have a 10-0 lead, but to slow down a bit.
And those are the plays that the winless team has to make. And they only have 5 interceptions in 10 games this year.
Newton's pass is caught by Olsen. He's brought down by Philip Weaver. It'll be 3rd down. And is 8 out of 13 so far. Facing a 3rd and 5. At the age of 7, with a linebacker playing.
Well, I think that's one football, his mentality. I mean, he always learned to be the hitter rather than the hittee. And he has that side of his cap from a young age, mentally, mid-transition to being a running back. It's really helpful.
Did he get away? No! It's free! 5.5 sacks this season for Freeney.
What a great sack by Dwight Freeney. And we talked to him the other day and said, tell me about trying to sack Cam Newton. Cam will try to spin out of it here. Spins a little early so Freeney's able to get on him. But it's really about your aiming point. He gave the analogy of hunting a deer on a run, or you're hunting an animal. And as you're looking and you're going to take that shot and he's on the run, you got to make your aiming point ahead of him or you'll miss him. That was perfect.
You said I didn't know you have to.
You didn't either.
Using it out, using punt as Diego Soto calls him the punt. So he's closing in on the 100 career sacks. With Peyton Manning out of the Colts lineup, they miss a lot.
Well, number one, he's a great player, got a great offensive mind, and I've called him the best offensive coordinator in pro football. He rarely misses. He gets the offense in the right play, gets the right defense. Then, of course, he had a great run game with Edgar and James, Joseph Adai, even Dominic Rose, so he had great play takes. And then as a playmaker, I mean, at the end of the day, it's a quarterback-driven league, and you got to be a playmaker. You got to get the ball down the field with accuracy and big play. Not many have ever done it better than Peyton Manning.
On first down, Tanner's in trouble. Gets away from the rush. Close one incomplete. So the second, I want to go back to Peyton Manning because this morning the special for his backfield is Mosley and Marshall.
There was not a receiver anywhere near. He was out of the pocket, so no intentional routing call.
No call. But baptism performed for his twin children, Marshall and Mosley, 8 months old, and said Jim Caldwell said, hey, if things go all the way, then every Sunday we'll have them back something. But Colts will do anything to win.
Coaches are so superstitious. It's great. About the big smile on his face. I'm talking that he's talking about it. It's great.
Thank you for watching. Tanner hands off to Adai. And Joseph Adai has a first down all the way into the 43 of Carolina before James Henderson brought him down. A 17-yard run.
That is a hard play to stop because these linebackers are thinking pass as Curtis Painter gets in his drop. You see James Anderson bail out just enough. The defensive end rushes up the field. The linebacker, because of the pass drop, the early pass drop by Curtis Painter, just a little bit of a drop and opens a nice hole there for Joseph Adai. Well executed play.
So Donald Brown next to the running back. They're going to stay with the ground game. And there goes Brown inside the 35.
Carolina's had major issues defending the run this year. Major issues. And a lot of it's been missed tackles. And I was talking to Ron Rivera about it yesterday. James Anderson right there had the running back right in the hole if he wanted to make the play. He was just really poor fundamentals in terms of the tackle. I think a big part of that, Chris, is their inability to practice and pass and really practice tackling during the week. It really is a lost art.
Second and 2, Painter to throw and throws high, but a nice catch by Ryan Mahaffey. The fullback to use to avoid where he spoke of was a blocker in the touchdown drop.
Well, he's going to do one of two things. He's going to lead as a blocker, or it's going to be a lead pass play action take. And this one is the same play, so it's a play action take. And he makes a beautiful catch, extending out and getting it with one arm.
So a fresh set of downs from the 30. Donald Brown the back with the fullback, Ryan Mahaffey. The ball is bobbled, but a quick throw into the ground in the area of Pierre Garçon and Greg Hardy. Got a hand up on that.
And they're going to continue, as I've been saying, to run that lead play, that isolation play with the fullback, Mahaffey getting up on the linebacker. And Ron Rivera knows this as a defensive guy, that he's going to have to start planning his front. He's going to have to start using that defensive line. Tanner's lucky to get it off. He's going to have to start using that defensive line to move inside, do different movements so they don't get the easy lead play up on the linebacker.
Second and 10. Donald Brown. Captain Mutterman was there, along with Jordan Senn, the former Colt. We're reaching the 2-minute mark of the first half. So the Panthers have the lead, but the Colts are on the move at the 2-minute warning. Moments ago in Indianapolis, there is NASCAR's Sprint Cup champion, Tony Stewart, a diehard Colts fan from the great state of Indiana. And as owner-driver, his third championship. What a duel with Carl Edwards. A great come-from-behind win. You'll see him in the Daytona 500 in February on Fox. Third down. They're going to run it with Donald Brown. Now they needed 12.
Yeah, they didn't get it.
Are they playing for a field goal here?
Well, they've been able to run with some pretty good success the last sprint draw, but that long down and distance clearly playing for the field goal. You get down in the scoring zone, you don't want to make a mistake with your quarterback who's completed 2 balls for them.
So Adam Vinatieri has converted his last 27 regular season field goal attempts here in Indianapolis. Going on drama on Fox on Monday, Terranova, and then the thrills keep coming with House. It starts tomorrow night, 8 Eastern, 7 Central on Fox. So this will be a 43-yard try for Vinatieri. Put the Colts into a tie. He's been clutching it home. Next get ball, and that's it. The Winwood Colts coming off a bye week. Steve Caldwell said the guys are still playing with a lot of heart. Meanwhile, Cam Newton wants to win on the road in the NFL.
And I can attest to that, from watching the games and watching it on the coach's tape on the interleague copy. I've heard a lot of comments that guys have packed it in mentally and the trailers are packed here in week 12, and that's all garbage. I mean, these guys, they've had their issues, obviously. The Peyton Manning formula has been gone. This team has given great effort and have continued to give great effort really for 60 minutes in all the games that I watched.
And great fans that love coming to this building and supporting the Colts. Peyton Manning, highly unlikely that he'll play again this year. We'll talk about what Bill Polian told us and what Peyton told us in the second half about what Peyton knows about the...
I wonder if he'll ever play again.
Nervous degeneration in the arm and the neck. The doctor is holding the cards according to Peyton. And the Colts are waiting patiently. February is another landmark month for Peyton Manning and the Colts. Lawrence lets it go. They'll come out to the 20-yard line. Panthers have 2 of their timeouts.
Well, and the reason I say that is I know how fragile the neck is. And you look at head, neck, or back, and it does end careers. And my goodness, I hope he gets the opportunity to do again what he's been so great at for so long. But you're talking about 3 neck surgeries. You're talking about degeneration of the nerves down the throwing arm. And if all those nerves do not come back and you can't fire the ball like you've been firing it for 14 years, not to mention you have a young family and you got the rest of your life, I mean, there are a lot of question marks surrounding Peyton Manning and his future playing in the National Football League.
Here comes the flash. First down. There's Dallas Clark. with a fibula injury. Should be back in a couple of weeks. Talking some NASCAR, I'm sure, with Tony Stewart. Maybe about how you come back. Tony made the change.
This is on the track on defense. Stepping in Newton's zone. Causing an offensive player false start. 5-yard penalty. Remaining first down.
Tony made the change to NASCAR. Didn't win a race all year. Then won 5 of the last 10, including the last race to win the championship. And Peyton Manning, in the year that Jim Caldwell's team got out to 14-0, they came from behind 7 points to win late in the game.
I can tell you this, just back to Peyton, I don't think we'll play him this year. He couldn't even play golf a couple of weeks ago. He has not even been cleared to swing a golf club yet.
Jonathan Stewart for a Carolina first down. Again, 2 timeouts. Coming up, beat the halftime report. All the highlights and scores from around the league. The Fox Sports Ticker will keep you updated with all the stats. As Carolina hustling to the line. 120 is counting here. That is caught by Nene. Here's the 40. He'll be short of the first down. Yeah, Peyton Manning had the right kind of attitude about, hey, I've had a great long career. Guys deal with injuries all the time. I've been spoiled with it. Put his health in the hands of doctors. They're doing their best. And that big news, gentlemen.
I think baited him right into throwing.
Yeah, Jared Powers is right there.
Absolutely baited him into throwing. They left him uncovered for a reason, knowing that Cam Newton was going to immediately check and throw it to him.
Panthers call time. They'll have 1 timeout remaining. Carolina trying to win its 3rd game of the year. And the Colts, of course, hoping for that first victory. What do you see so far? You're a little bit surprised that the Panthers haven't been able to put up more points.
No, I'm not, and I'll tell you why. Number one, Indianapolis offensively has kept them in this game with some nice runs. That fullback from Miami has made a huge difference in this game with the lead play and the pass off of it. But more importantly, the pass rush has gotten cranked up. They shut the run down. They put him into some long down and distance situations. And when you do that, Dwight Freeney and Robert Mathis can do their thing. The defense really is the story of the game, certainly in the second quarter.
When you've seen Cam Newton before, how do you look so far this year?
Well, I think he looks good. I think he's been under pressure. And his escapability, typically he runs away from guys. That's why you got to give the credit to Mathis and to Freeney for being able to finish and get him to the ground.
And a lot of throw for a first down to Greg Olsen. And he steps out of bounds with 45 seconds to go.
I mean, he's not used to defensive linemen being able to get on him that quick and get him down. Usually when Cam Newton, because of his great skill set, Chris, and athletic ability, when he sees it, he's got the ability to react and step away from him, burst away from him. That is Freeney and Mathis with their outstanding skill set for being able to put a stop to it in the first half of the game.
We have a 25 yards for a field goal set. He's a legitimate one. And Newton gets rid of it safely. They lost 9 seconds off the clock. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Ran all day to throw. Jordan Gross did a great job on Dwight Freeney. Freeney's known for his lethal spin move. Here's Freeney here. Watch Jordan Gross handle this spin without a problem. Nobody has been better at the inside spin than Dwight Freeney. And Jordan Gross just showed you why he's one of the better left tackles in the league. He made it look easy.
Oh, catch by LaFell. To get down of bounds around the 34-yard line of Indianapolis. Cam waited and zipped it.
What a laser by Cam Newton, and a great job by Brandon LaFell coming back to the football. He turned and sat right in the middle of the zone, but as Cam drives it, you'll see him drive back to the football right there. Was really the key that allowed him to get the catch and then get some nice yards after the catch.
So they mark it at the 33. Melinda Murray's career long, a 54-yard field goal back in 1999. 28 seconds and 1 timeout. Incomplete. Again, threw it behind Steve Smith. So after the 23-yard completion to Brandon LaFell,
That's just a bad throw. Can't have time. Nice pocket for him. Ball comes out a little bit late, and it's behind Steve Smith. You hit Steve Smith right on target right there, like the one we saw earlier. And Steve maybe has the end zone with his ability to run after the shot.
Smith has one catch of the game so far for 30 yards.
Last thing you want to take here is the sack if you can.
Right now, you're looking at a 50-yard field goal. Pressure. He gets rid of it to Jonathan Stewart, who makes something happen out of the 27-yard line. Panthers are likely to let this run down.
Well, that happened a lot faster for Jonathan Stewart than he wanted it to. Because he had to do a little tip block and then get out in the screen action. But Paul Anderson was so fast for third. The play happened faster than it was supposed to.
So the Panthers use the timeout to set up a Lindamare for the field goal, which would give Carolina the lead at the break. So far, he's 1 for 1 today. Cam Newton, 13 out of 20. 118 yards, he's running for a touchdown. No interception so far. This will be a 45-yard field goal try. And the one he made earlier was from 40. Lakers run it home. Jamal Anderson with the block on the field goal play.
You know, I'm kicking myself. I promise you I'm not making this up. I'm going to think to myself, watch Jamal Anderson. He's good at this. He's got a big long wingspan. Insane, and then he blasted through the line. Huge blast.
So the Colts battling for their first win of the year. Out at the half. Let's go to Kirk Kennedy to the Beaver report. Colts fans standing and cheering for Marvin Harrison, enshrined in the Colts Ring of Honor here in Indianapolis as we get ready to start the third quarter. Tied at 10, and there's Peyton Manning. What a combo. Those two connected over the years. A soft-spoken receiver who was very reliable.
Right, great practice habits, and just a great player. He'll have a bust, I believe, in Canton someday. I know it's hard to get in as a wide receiver, but in today's game. But you look at what that duo did with Peyton Manning and Marvin Harrison, the most completions, the most yards, the most touchdowns of any tandem ever in the National Football League with those two guys hooking up. So really cool, and the crowd's still on their feet here for Marvin Harrison.
Alex Payton said, I threw him at my first game, preseason, a 4-yard pass. He ran another 50 yards for a touchdown. I said, this is going to be easy. And it has been. Now, how about this game here? This Colts team fighting off a little momentum shift with the Jamal Anderson block of the field.
Yeah, and we know football's a game of emotion. Huge play right before the half to really take 3 points off the board. Paul Anderson's been very, very good at that in his whole career. And I think if you take a look at it, you watch him on the left side of the offensive line for Carolina, he just smashes right through. And at 6'6.5" with those long arms, I mean, Murray had no chance to get that up and out of the way of Jamal Anderson. But bottom line is that Curtis Painter's got to play better. Only 6 pass attempts, and they're 0 for 4 on third down.
Follow your favorite team all season long. Go to iTunes.com/NFL. The Colts have run the ball very well.
Well, Frank Mahaffey, the guy who they picked up from the Baltimore practice squad, he has been tearing it up as the lead blocker. And just really, it's his first NFL game today. You talked about it. Clyde Christensen, the offensive coordinator, never even seen him in pass. But they knew they needed a fullback. They didn't have a good one on the roster. They knew they needed one against this Carolina team who have been susceptible to the lead play. And they have really pounded it with that play or the play-action pass off of that play.
And the halftime numbers for a game that has a 10-all tie on the scoreboard.
And this is the one I'm talking about. 0 for 4 on third down conversions. And that really lends itself and leads right to the time of possession issues and the lack of play opportunity.
And one of the reasons Peyton Manning is still on the roster of the Colts, even though he is inactive, is just in case, because of the new rules, he gets some clearance, even to throw the football. The Colts would like him to be able to at least be involved in practice.
Well, listen, I talked to him before the game. He told me he hadn't even been cleared to play golf yet. The season's over in 6 weeks.
In February is when Bill Polian said we'll have an assessment there between the neck the nerve degeneration in the arm. They're really too far to watch it closely, but we talked with the organization of our quarterback who's there. We're going to draft him, and Peyton is good with that.
And remember, there's a huge financial commitment for Peyton Manning, or to Peyton Manning, right at the beginning of the league year, which is at the beginning of March. So they're going to have some information by then, and they're going to have to put that bonus money back. And of course, Peyton Manning will have to agree to do that.
So Nova Bay back to receive the kick to start the second half from Olindo Mare. They'll let it go through the end zone. Since 2007, nobody has more touchbacks than Olindo Mare. So they'll come out to the 20-yard line. And next week, doubleheader with America's Game of the Week. Panthers will take on the Bucs in a NFC South Division clash. Some will see the Packers Giants, Cowboys Cardinals, Rams 49ers. Packers undefeated, 49ers going to lock up the NFC West. So Curtis Painter, who was 2 of 6, benefited on a 42-yard pass interference penalty. Trying to get the Colts going here in the third quarter. The line is back low and barely gets the yard. Greg Parton makes the stop. They started with a dive. Donald Brown stayed with it. They have not seen DeLon Carter, the rookie from Stewart.
Good play there by Greg Hardy in year number 2. That's one thing. You look at Carolina defensively, and I know they lost their linebackers, John Beeson, the captain and leader of that defense, and then Thomas Davis, but they're so young up front. They're starting 2 rookies at D tackle. You see Greg Hardy there, only 23 years old, so a lot of youth.
This is a guy who loses yards. One of those young guys you're talking about inside making the play.
Yeah, rookie out of Stanford. The owner Kua, who Ron Rivera pointed out yesterday in our meeting with, because those rookies have really hit the wall. The 2 rookies inside. He and McClain, so they've got to be able to play better. That was a good play there by Kua, who is really, really strong. Mike Khalil, the center of Carolina, says this guy, in time with the season, is going to be an outstanding player.
Four-man rush. Bader throws and out of the head of Joseph Gonzalez. James Anderson will back there covering the Panthers' leading tackler. It will be 4th down.
That's a nice throw by Curtis Painter, because Hardy was right on his backside. He runs around Anthony Costanzo, and watch Greg Hardy now. He's going to stomp on the gas pedal and get after it. Painter makes an accurate throw on the run. Dropped by a dime.
Amani Edwards back to receive for Kathleen Clark. Another 3 and out for the Colts. It's that catch to brought down right at the 35-yard line by David Conway. So a 44-yard boost, no return. It'll be Cam Newton on offense. We're tied at 7.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. By USAA, proudly serving the financial needs of the military, veterans, and their families. By Dye. And by Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Here we go.
The front by Pat McAfee. I mispronounced his name. Sorry about that. Bring Ryan Mahaffey. Don't worry about that. I will do that too. On first down, Cam Newton has it. Pitches. D'Angelo Williams. Knocked out at the 39-yard line. So far, Cam Newton has run for the touchdown. He's thrown 20 times, completing 13 of those.
Yeah, he's done a very fine job running, and as you said, had the 14-yard touchdown. Stewart, nice yards per carry average. They need to feed him more. He needs more touches. He is just a workhorse at 235 pounds in the fellow next first half.
And Steve Smith up to try for him. Eric Royer. Here's one catch. This is Williams. That plays a touch for the Colts. It'll bring us 3rd down. And we're getting a report from the sideline of the Colts. We've been talking about the Ryan Mahaffey contributions today. A concussion. He has a questionable return.
Yeah, and they started in that same two-back set with a fullback. Started the second half with the fullback and the tailback, but it was Mike McNeil in there instead of Mahaffey. So, and I didn't see him on the bench when they first came out. So I think he just came out of the locker room in the second half. I think he can get back, but you got to be super careful for what you know with concussion protocol.
Complete. Out of the 46-yard line, Greg Olsen.
What a job by Cam Newton, just standing tall with pocket presence and stepping up inside of Robert Mathis. Mathis is a great rusher. He's going to come to the edge, but Cam, just enough, steals it out to his right, wants to hitch up right here in the perfect spot of the pocket and just throw a laser to Greg Olsen.
Gain of 13, so a 1st and 10 from the 42 of the Colts.
That ball out right in 3 seconds, right on time.
Jonathan Stewart straight to him. Hands on the run. And is forced to go out of bounds. Jamal Anderson is taking it. But a defensive struggle for the most part.
And that guy's played good. I know that. Jamal Anderson was a big block. Pat Anger has been all over the place. Look at the 4 tackles by Jamal Anderson. Freeney's gotten to the quarterback. Mathis has gotten to the quarterback.
Freeney is a half a sack away from 100 in his career.
You remember, he and Mathis together have been one of the most explosive tandems in the NFL to get to the quarterback together.
Screen to Stewart. Took the tackle. Jonathan Stewart. That extra effort, but he got there with the first down marker and first and 2. Helped to bring him down.
And that guy is a bulldozer. His lower body is so wide, does not want to tackle him. Listen. I mean, that's what you do to bring power back. You try to chop him down at the knee. No chance.
Yeah, Early Sims, part of the Bowling School Alliance team. The only NFL team to go through the 16-game regular season schedule. Hey, one minute and they need to brag about it, but it'll keep us from 0-16.
Time for another Cam Newton run.
On 31, there he goes, and he has a touchdown. He's past the 20 points. Now, you can call that for about here. How come they're going to defense?
Well, I think they can, and I think they do expect it, but he's getting so hard to defend because of the matchup problems all over the place.
Now, do you call the play?
Well, and Jerry Hughes, that's on Jerry Hughes right there. The guy down block, that's the right defensive end. Look at him crash down, and then Ernie Sims doesn't get over the top. That's not having awareness of really watching what Cam Newton does, especially in the short situation. He's got to win for him to run.
From the 25-yard line. The end zone Williams. Look out. And that's a touchdown passer. On his 10th carry from 25 yards out, his second rushing touchdown of the year.
Watch the right side of the defensive line here and watch them just get walked down the line of scrimmage. Jerry Hughes gets upfield. Fitting Malala gets walked down inside. Now Antoine Buffet, the safety's got to step up and make that fill. No chance on D'Angelo Williams. That was a huge hole. When I say walk, I mean he took an inside charge, and you've got to fight the pressure. You got to come back to the hole. He didn't, and they just took him like in the washing machine and just spun him all the way down the line of scrimmage.
All right, with a spin drive, D'Angelo Williams breaks the tie. The Panthers have a 7-point lead in the third quarter. It's really more than a 1-2 punch with the Panthers. D'Angelo Williams, the touchdown run after Cam Newton let him down there. Jonathan Stewart, a threat. It's really a three-headed monster.
It's like a monster movie with those three guys. And they rarely take negative yards. They're always picking up positive yards. Their numbers bear that out.
So once again, the Colts come out to the 20. Trailing by 7. The Colts must respond to the running game of Carolina.
Game is sponsored by Verizon. Download NFL Mobile or from Verizon, the official wireless service provider of the NFL.
So Cam Newton, as we talked about at the start of this broadcast, the difference a star quarterback can make
Incredible.
for a franchise.
Incredible. And won the Heisman Trophy. We all know that. Won about every award there was to win. And he's doubled up as a college player. Now, he's doubled up in Indianapolis in terms of yards. Amazing.
Henry to throw with 8 half of the game. That is deep. Pierre Garcon. No flag.
Now that's what I was talking about earlier. Remember we saw the earlier pass interference? The defender was not playing the ball. It was perfect by Sherrod Martin, who's going to help over the top on the corner, Chris Campbell. So now watch him spin his hip. Now he's going to turn and run, and what he's going to do is he's going to turn and locate the ball right there before the contact. Once he turns to look at the ball, Chris, it becomes incidental contact, and there's no pass interference call. Well played by Sherrod Martin.
Donald Brown checks in on 2nd and 10. He's supposed to going downfield. Here is Lorenzo Brown, who has a touchdown run in the game.
But that cutback has been pretty darn good today when you talk about the Colts running game. And that's been their, the lead play and then the cutback play has been a nice feature for them offensively in terms of running the ball.
But it puts Painter in effect 3rd and 7.
Got to get Jacob Penny involved. The tight end, 84, right at the bottom of your screen here at the end of the line.
Have an effective throw in his direction. Richard Davis is the set. It's picked up. Throw, and did he hold on though? They pick it for Austin Collie. It'll be 4th down.
Here's the running game I'm talking about for Indianapolis. It's been nice where they're starting out to the left. Put your eyes right on here, the backside defensive tackle. When the cutback's working, the backside defensive tackle's getting blocked. Another illustration of getting washed down the line of scrimmage. Same thing there. That's been the positive yards that they found in the cutback. Really done a nice job of blocking the backside defensive tackle.
Well, Pat McAfee with the boot. And Amani Edwards from the 35 goes down right away. Well, Wheeler does the special teams play. A 42-yard boot. No return. You can get coverage of every NFL game with NFL Mobile. Call ***. NFL Now. And, that's something with the Panthers sitting back in Charlotte. They're talking about renovations, having access for fans with their handheld devices, big screen TVs, make the stadium environment as comfortable as the home environment.
I'm waiting for one of these new stadiums that they're doing to have screens in the back of every seat.
Don't think that like the airline. D'Angelo Williams on 1st down carry. And Cam Newton, in his 11th game in the NFL, has surpassed the 3,000-yard passing mark. Is what he's been able to throw for today, and that's been some pretty impressive numbers.
He's off to a start in terms of this being his 11th game with 3,000 yards. No one's ever done that in the National Football League, ever.
And earlier he's done it. He told us he grew up playing video games where you create your own players. He could take Manning as his quarterback.
Let's see what he got from the front. Why can't he run?
And they end around the Steve Smith. Who gets near the 1st down out of bounds. He said, I wanted to have a Peyton Manning thrower who could run like I could run. And that would create a guy who would be unstoppable.
Yeah, run like Peyton, run like Vic. And he said his game is nowhere even close to either one of those guys in terms of his style. And he just still run big. I love the story that he told about when he played Pop Warner football. He said he was always the youngest and always the biggest,
but wanted to get there early when they had him play linebacker and running back so he could play catch.
Look at the Wildcat. He's lined up out at wide receiver right now with D'Angelo Williams taking the snap.
That's how versatile he is. D'Angelo Williams keeps Hammond blocking downfield. And a healthy pickup for D'Angelo Williams coming off that touchdown run moments ago.
And when you're 252, you can even block. Here he is, matched up out there on Kevin Thomas. Huge size advantage. Now, if you're that corner, you want to come up and try to rock him. Look at Cam trying to cut him down. Come on, Cam Newton.
Cam says, not a job, it's my life.
Oh, he hates losing now. How about that passing that was coming through and talking to him yesterday?
You can feel it. Jonathan Stewart for a first down. Spinning inside the 38-yard line.
Jordan Gross has the key block here. We saw him block earlier in the pass protection. Watch what he does to Tyler Brayton right here. Tyler Brayton's got to keep his outside shoulder free, and this is his spot. That's Tyler Brayton's spot. Jordan Gross just takes him, manhandles him down the line of scrimmage. Good vision by Jonathan Stewart on the cutback.
A 9-yard gain. Stewart's run for 43 yards.
Cam
Newton has run for 40. And DeAngelo Williams for 59. Cam keeps it and just kind of stumbles at the 39-yard line. When you look at the first 10 games of their NFL careers, Peyton Manning and Cam Newton, well, look at this amazing record. Exactly. He's trying to tell that to Cam Newton. He just said, I'll never accept. Here's the biggest difference.
The man doesn't want to hear it.
That's not video game at all, but the biggest talk about it.
And that's number 10 today. And you got 10 touchdowns. He has a 14-yarder. Now, he's not going to accept losing.
He was looking forward to meeting Peyton, but it meant Archie was father and told him how special it was to have two sons like Peyton and Eli. The ball comes out at the end after the catch was made by Jeremy Shockey, and Jacob Lacey came up with the football.
Shockey saying he was found.
This might be one that the Panthers will challenge.
See if Shockey turns around and clearly has possession of the football. Jacob Lacey's the one from behind who put his helmet on it. Now, is that ball coming out? Yeah, his left knee's up. That's going to end up being a fumble. Shockey's knee was not on the ground before that ball came out.
Colts have the football. There is no challenge from Ron Rivera. Jeremy Shockey ruling on the field. Catch, fumble, recovery, Colts, Jacob Lacey.
Yeah, and it was a good no challenge. You see the left knee still up off the ground when Lacey had knocked it out. Ball clearly coming out.
First and 10. We're going to hand it to Pierre Garcon. It is not wide at the 47-yard line. Jeremy Shockey, after missing one game, back with the rhythm involved in the offense. His second catch of the game, and the turnover gives the Colts a chance to.
And they got to get the ball. They got to get the ball to Garcon. I mean, really, that's all there is. That's what McKinnon still is the fastest guy on this offense, and the biggest home run threat. When you look at it, you just said that's been the connection from Curtis Turner. Pierre Garcon, and they have not been doing anything special in terms of double teaming them. They got to get the ball to number 85.
They need two for a first down. How about he's going for Reggie Wayne? And they're huckling up to the line. Reggie Wayne with R.J. Stanford covered.
Man coverage. I told you they're playing more man in Carolina. Watch this release by Reggie Wayne. Inside release. R.J. Stanford is beat from the get-go. And he is expecting help from the safety over the top. He's a little bit late getting there. That is a perfect throw.
And Reggie Wayne is the one who stepped up for Curtis Painter when they brought in Terry Collins. He said, we have a guy who can produce him here. Let him play. A 30-yard connection. That throw was perfect. Donald Brown. There's a flag down. If he goes down to the 7.5-yard line now, when you figure you're going to get Saturday here.
Offense, number 63. 10-yard penalty. First down.
The call is on Jeff Saturday for the second accepted penalty against the Colts. Talking to him outside the hotel today before we came over to the stadium in the rain. We talked for 20 minutes, didn't talk about the Colts record. Talked about the weather, the stadium, talked about his beard.
Get any of that going?
We talked about your beard. He used to push those hygiene products for men with beards.
Keep it tight, well groomed.
On the penalty, it backs them up. So first and 20 from the 23 of Carolina.
Look at the stick marks on his helmet.
Painter has it, throws Ranger. Jacob Cannon, the tight end. Gets a lot of that yards back. Candy had a tremendous second half run last year when Dallas Clark was out.
I love the play. Watch Jake Buchanan here. He's going to block, and then he's going to steal back and pivot out and release as a receiver. Perfect timing, well executed, and it really ends up becoming a tight end screen. It was a good play call from the offensive coordinator, and even better execution by the tight end and the offensive line up front. Timing on it was just right.
Mark Richardson put on a 2nd and 9 ball here. Donald Brown. He has one touchdown right there at the 6-yard line. It'll be 3rd down. Chris Campbell from the forward spot into the south.
All right, they got the bullet here. Watch Anthony Costanzo hold Charles Johnson. Watch this, Chris. Maybe it wasn't. It was actually a good job of squatting over the top.
Over tough ball. 3rd and 4. Is the number 1 first-round draft pick on Boston College.
He's going to be a good one. And, they've been trying to replace that left tackle since Derek Flynn, if you remember him.
Call the timeout. The first to the Colts in this half. They will have 2 remaining. Coming up after our coverage, get a preview of all the college football championship games. You get immediate reaction to coaches and players from around the country. The College Football Championship preview is coming up after our coverage here on Fox. Well, the Colts try to win their first game of the year. The Panthers have had some fourth-quarter leads that have gotten away. We have 5 of them. As a matter of fact, 21 to go here, so a touchdown would be big for the Colts versus a field goal.
And if you look at Cam Newton, his 14 interceptions, Chris, 9 of them have come in the second half of the game. And it was Jeremy Shockey that had the fumble that gave the ball back to the Indianapolis Colts. And then defensively for Carolina, they've given up 96 full-quarter points.
And no third down conversions yet for the Colts. That's Garcon. And he catches it, and he's going nowhere. Campbell got on him. He got loose, and that's a loss. And an excellent defensive play by the Panthers.
That's not a good job by the quarterback, I don't think, in Payne. He thought that he had Garcon and wide open as he moves into the slot, but if you watch number 20, he's got him in man coverage, and he ran with him from the other side. So Campbell's all over it, running in motion with Garcon, and he watches it develop. And lucky that ended up not being the negative yard.
But Campbell,
see, Peyton's telling him right now, you got to see that man coverage. That wasn't the right read.
So an excellent defensive stop, an important one, because it only allows a 3-point opportunity for the Colts. And Vinatieri's kick is good. But the Panthers lead by 4 after the turnover. With 32 seconds to go here in the third quarter, it's a 17-13 Carolina advantage. The Play 60 Challenge since 2007, traveling the country, helping the youth of America to be active and healthy. This spring, the NFL Play 60 bus will visit a deserving community. It could be yours. You can go to NFLRush.com/plus to find out more. And you've seen the ads. The Panthers featured in a Play 60 Plus public service announcement. There's all the players, Cam Newton, Steve Smith, and Jerry Richardson. They'll driving the bus.
Gotta go play. Right? And Chris, I can imagine you as a kid. Christopher, be home when the street lights are on.
Take a look at the Buick by the garbage can, and I'll throw you the football.
Right.
Stay active. And great that the NFL is making sure that the youth of America is staying healthy. 32 seconds to go here. McAfee ready to kick off. We have that 101-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. And Carolina franchise record last week. They'll bring it out to the 20-yard line. To Cam Newton, the offense will take over there. Well, this is week 11. And on Thanksgiving, you saw what the Packers did to the Lions, and then you watched what the Ravens did to the 49ers. But this is the way the playoff picture looks at the moment.
Yeah, and the 49ers really not hurt by the loss when you look at it in terms of the big picture. I feel really bad for Chicago. I did ask Greg Olson yesterday how Caleb Haney would be as a quarterback since they've lost Jay Cutler. They've won 5 consecutive games, and he seemed to think he would be okay. And remember, Caleb Haney played okay in that championship game against the Packers last year. The Bears' forte in that defense are going to be in every game.
Cam Newton will keep and lose a yard. He did a lot of rushing just to stay out of a major loss. It'll be second down.
You can just tell how much he believes in his talent and wants to be the playmaker. He had two guys he could have easily tossed the football to, and he elected to keep it himself on the run.
Cam Newton has run for a touchdown and has kept the Colts defense off balance at the end of 3 quarters. The Carolina Panthers 17, the Colts 13. Along with Tim Ryan, Chris Flyers, glad you're with us from Indianapolis as we get ready to start the third quarter. Curtis Painter has not been on target very much of the day, 5 out of 12, whereas Cam Newton runs 142 yards and no field goal. Second down, that's Jonathan Stewart. Taking block near a first down. That's for Stewart.
They never go down on first contact at 235 pounds.
They work for it.
The running game, Carolina's well over 150 or 150 yards rushing. You see it right there. So they've got more rushing yards than Indianapolis has total yards. And then the time of possession, we talked about that. That was a big throw down there. Down there. And a little quick throw to Doug Ball.
It was the first down. Stewart remains on the back. He has it and has a lot of room across the 40. That one was saved with the tackle and Stewart back-to-back carries.
And again, that's a fundamental defensive line play. Look at you, Tyler Brayton outside shade. You've got to keep this arm free and take the cutback. Instead, he gets butted up with Jordan Rose and tries so hard to squeeze from the backside that he ends up being the guy that gives up the edge.
Just inside the 43 after a 14-yard run. Jordan Rose having a great run. Look at that average from Jonathan Stewart. Cam Newton's averaging about 7 a carry. The Angelo Williams averaging 5 a carry today. What they do there? They get to the midfield, but there is a flag down.
You might end up getting some holding here.
Again, Steve Smith has just 1 catch today.
Steve Smith cleared it out.
Number 89, offense. 10-yard penalty. Look at
They tried to stiff arm Father's arm a little bit at age 32. And over 1,000 receiving yards once again for this season. The 6th of his career.
You know, it was funny talking to Cam Newton yesterday. He was talking about Steve, and he said, Steve's talking me down. He said, I hate losing. Steve's like, hey, it's okay. Don't accept it. You know, you're facing the organization. I said, that doesn't sound like old salty Steve to me.
What a competitor. Yeah, he put it a different way. Just take the Cam. Don't isolate yourself. Guys are looking to the urinate for hope. That is cut by Steve Smith. And down the sideline he goes.
What a great route. What a tremendous route. And that's the thing. You talk about Father Time and losing the bird. Watch the bird to come back to the ball on their deep comeback and then spin and get yards after the catch. They got a first down. And watch him now. Now watch him spin and be gone. That's so impressive.
Only 5 now, man. He can take it to a pickup of 20 yards. So now inside the 47, the 48-yard line of Indianapolis. The Angelo Williams right up the middle. What's in the game break? Check in with Kurt Menefee.
And this is not a replay. 3 weeks after he did it in overtime, Patrick Peterson of Arizona with a punt return for a touchdown against the Rams. His fourth punt return of the year for a score. Fourth player to do that since 1951 when he was 20-10. And by the way, since then, Devin Hester did the same thing back in 07.
Interesting, and you talk about a rookie, Patrick Peterson, giving Cam Newton, Andy Dalton, a wonderful rookie of the year.
And what's amazing is he's won 2 games with it. The overtime game against Arizona, and then the Carolina game early in the year, if you remember.
There's Cam Newton to throw. For Steve Smith, he snatches it out of the air. At the 27-yard line of the Colts.
Dwight Freeney was doing all he could there on Jordan Gross. This has been a great matchup watching this today. Freeney's gotten Jordan a couple of times. Jordan's gotten Freeney a few times. That's just pure power driving him into the lap of Cam Newton. But there's where that height at almost 6'6" comes in handy. He had an offensive lineman being pushed into his lap. You can still see the in-cut from Steve Smith, and then the power to turn and twist and throw that football right on the money. A little hot, but certainly one that was in the frame of Steve Smith.
Cam Newton has it. That's Jeremy Shockey. Down inside the 1. Having a little fun with the Colts defenders. It looks like Cam was holding his chin on that play. Lacey, remember, recovered the fumble, caused the fumble from Shockey at the end of the third quarter.
Good time for Cam Newton because Wheeler actually did a good job of trying to reroute Jeremy Shockey for it and getting him really pushed off of the beginning part of his route. Shockey stayed with it. Cam Newton had time to throw it. And another very nice throw.
24-yard pickup. First and goal, Carolina.
There's where Cam gets killed again with his leg.
D'Angelo Williams has a touchdown Panthers. At the moment, a 10-point lead, awaiting the extra point. Second touchdown of the day for Williams.
Instrumental, Jeremy Shockey on that drive. The big catch, and then now he's going to get the big steal down block on Jamal Anderson. And that ends up giving the edge to where Philip Wheeler tried to get over the top, he and Pat Angler, and you're not going to stop D'Angelo Williams when he gets to the line of scrimmage untouched. Jeremy Shockey, the reason he was able to do that.
Panthers averaging 400 yards of total offense. They're 351 as the extra point to cap an 80-yard drive. Makes it 24-13. The Panthers running game looks unstoppable here in Indianapolis.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Sprint. All football, no limit. Only from Sprint. By Triple Hot Food Miller Lite. Taste greatness. And by Chase. Don't get shortchanged. Get your cash back with Chase Freedom.
A lot of smiles on that Carolina bench, led by rookie Cam Newton. And moments ago, we showed you Patrick Peterson's punt return for a touchdown. And there's going to be said before the deal. Look at that battle for rookie of the year.
Really some incredible play. Now, hard to argue with Cam Newton with what he's doing, but that may be the wild card in the whole bunch right there. DeMarco Murray. If the Cowboys continue to win, he has certainly shown the ability to complete that. And Andy Dalton having a good day today for Cincinnati, 15 of 18, 197 yards and a touchdown.
So out of the 20-yard line is where Curtis Painter and the Colts will take over on offense. Cam Newton taking some hits of the Panthers with the lead. Colts have a first down, trailing 24-13 from their own 20-yard line. Joseph Adai, 7 carries in the game, coming off the hamstring injury. They're working on his foot. So Donald Brown, who had the touchdown run of the game, leads the back. Painter to throw, and hauled in by Reggie Wayne. Will be a first down from the 30. Reggie Wayne, who talked about, you talked about his years in the league, he kind of learned two things. You got to run routes better than people, and you got to catch the ball better than the next guy. Kept him around.
And gave his college coach, Curtis Johnson, who's now down in New Orleans, all the credit. I mean, you look at Andre Johnson with the Houston Texans, Reggie Wayne, those guys, those receivers that came out of Miami, they're all tremendous route runners.
Time and throw incomplete by Painter. He also said, Simmons a little frustrated here. Reggie Wayne on his iPad, he checks out other receivers and has highlights. Andre Johnson and Larry Fitzgerald. Steve Smith, one of those receivers he has on his hip list he loves to watch.
Yeah, and I'll tell you that iPad, those guys can watch, and it's immediately uploadability to go watch games and put on flights on the way home and watch games and watch your opponents and your competitors and your colleagues. What did Larry Fitzgerald tell us? All he ever watches is Reggie Wayne.
And this is Donald Brown for a first down. His 12th carry of the day, puts him over 60 yards. A first down for the Colts, who are trailing by 2 scores.
Remember I said slant in the front? Watch these guys end up coming down and they get caught in Donald Brown's season. You see the defensive tackle, he slanted down on the side. We talked about that earlier to try to stop the lead play. And Donald Brown sees the defensive line and gets caught inside. Good vision, good explosion up through the hole.
Just over 9 minutes remain here in the fourth quarter. Painter had time to throw and throw high for Reggie Wayne, who was not open.
Carolina is running more man coverage this year under Ron Rivera than they ever thought about running under John Fox.
Well, shouldn't they be able to take advantage of that with guys like Garcon and Reggie Wayne?
Well, I think Reggie Wayne told us you don't need a lot of separation in this league to be open, but you do when Curtis Painter's been throwing this ball versus when Peyton Manning's done it for 14 years before that.
And here goes Donald Brown. It's been their formula. This time Carolina's ready for it. It'll be third down. Panthers with the lead. Colts have to be aware of that clock, which is quickly becoming an enemy on 3rd and 9. Pressure is coming. Go, pump, play, Reggie Wayne. He has to get past Sutton. And he does. Reggie Wayne has a close touchdown.
And we're going to go for 2. No flags on the play. Might as well. It's a 2-score game before that touchdown. Down 11. Now you end up getting the point. There's one missed tackle. And then Sherrod Martin overplays it. Missing little move there by Reggie Wayne. Let's give Curtis Painter a lot of credit because he had pressure all around him. Threw the ball to Reggie Wayne. Reggie blasted back, firstly back to the football, and was able to get it. Now this is huge. His first is absolutely huge here, Chris, down by 5.
His first touchdown catch since week 1. Remember, Reggie Wayne told us that Curtis Painter can make all the throws. But yes, given the 5-point difference, the 2-point conversion would allow them a field goal to tie. But first things first.
He's got him crossing around the top of the screen if he wants it.
Painter rolls, throws, the catch is not made. It was for Austin Collie, but it was a poor throw.
It was a bad throw, and I could see it from up here that they had the man coverage they were looking for. And that's what I said. They've got a crossing route, man coverage if they want it.
He can make all the throws, but he couldn't make that one. He did make this one, the Reggie Wayne. And the Colts are battling for that first victory of this year.
Today's game is sponsored by the Ford F-150. New come available with EcoBoost.
Reggie Wayne, big fan of Marvin Harrelson, who was honored at halftime in the Colts Ring of Honor.
And they said Marvin showed him everything. I really have to be a complete receiver, route runner.
And it's the touchdown, but they missed the 2-point conversion, and here goes Carolina. And one down at the 30 by McAfee.
And so McAfee, mahalo. Especially if you're a Colts fan. How often do you see a kicker not have the angle on the kick returner and be able to run him down?
Polaris, who ran one back last week, 101, when a fourth-quarter lead got away against the Lions for Carolina. He sets them up nicely here. with a nifty return that the kicker saved, but it was good for 76 yards.
Gave him a little dead leg there, which slowed McAfee down, but McAfee's got enough depth to run him down and get him out of bounds.
Now, Carolina has run for 179 yards on the ground. 9 straight games with over 100 yards rushing for the Panthers. They go to the ground and D'Angelo Williams already in field goal range at just under the 8-minute mark.
And we always talk about football being a game of emotion and momentum. In Indianapolis, after the Reggie Wayne touchdown, great momentum, making it a 5-point game. And a coverage unit with their special teams, which has really let us down all year. They've been terrible at covering punts and assists. They follow that momentum and that win right out of their state.
And the two-point conversion was in their grasp. It was just not executed. The attack football they beat on.
55!
Out of the shotgun, Cam Newton kicks and goes down at the 25. Let's get a game break and check in with Kurt Reynolds.
On the pregame show, Jimmy Johnson said, if you're a bad team, stop for it on fourth down. Minnesota does that. 4th and 13 against Atlanta, and look at that. Percy Harvin, 39-yard touchdown reception from Ponder, and just like that, they scored within 3 points. They got 17-0 at 1.52.
All right, thanks. Steelers will tightly up around the NFL the number of given on 3rd down and 3. Blitz is picked up. Jonathan Stewart carries. Cam Newton goes down inside the 30. Here comes the field goal unit for the family. So a big defensive stop. And remember, Jamal Anderson blocked an Olindamare field goal try right before the half, and he absolutely did. On 4th and 1, they stop for the field goal.
That was a huge stop, Chris. Because even if they get the field goal here, it's still a one-possession game. Only down 8 points if they get it.
A 41-yard try. And right through the heart, Olindamare delivers for the Panthers. A 27-19 advantage. But it was Kealoha Polaris at his kickoff return that set up the field goal. Pat McAfee saved a touchdown, but Polaris had the opportunity on the return. Now Olindamare kicks off. The Colts will take it from the 20-yard line, trailing by 8. After an incredible regular season with upsets and surprises, Fox Sports now brings you the inaugural conference championship game this Friday. Pac-12 showdown, UCLA, Oregon, and then Saturday, the Big Ten championship in this building here in Indianapolis, Wisconsin, taking on Michigan State. Epic championship game, back-to-back nights on Fox. The college football preview show follows our coverage here.
We just keep trying out quarterbacks at Wisconsin.
Incredible. Taylor throws, complete. There it is. Here goes Stone for the first down.
Yeah, they have got to feed that guy the ball. I would think that Carolina now, with Reggie Wayne's day, 4 catches with 121 yards, and the number of times he's been targeted versus the other receivers, it will be leaning coverage over here towards Reggie Wayne. So this is the guy now who's going to get the one-on-one. Painter's got to look for.
Donald Brown.
Great block by Cameron.
He gets out of bounds.
Great block.
There's a flag down as he went out of bounds. Well, put Brown over 70 yards rushing today.
Good block by Garcone out there, too, at wide receiver.
Personal foul. Right hit out of bounds. Number 50 on the defense. 15-yard penalty will be added to the end first down.
So James Anderson, the team's leading tackler.
Clearly out on the white stripe from James Anderson. So, I mean, you got to be able to hold up your contact with force right there.
After a 12-yard run of a penalty, it's a 27-yard gain. At the 5-minute mark. Painter completes to Henry. Inside the 33.
It's amazing that he has not gotten the ball more. And I know he's been nicked a little bit, Jacob Hamby, but throughout this season. He was great for Dallas Clark last year when he stepped in for Dallas Clark. He needs to have the ball distributed to him more.
Second down, 1. He's going deep with Garcon. And a good acceptance. Chris Campbell in the end zone.
Well, that time it was the right read, Chris, but it was a bad throw. You're going to see the tight end go up here. He holds the safety, so it's a one-on-one route. Garcon out there with Chris Campbell, and this ball is just clearly underthrown. I mean, that's the right read. The safety's double teaming right there on the tight end. You got to put that ball over the top to the back pylon where only your receiver can get it. That's a bad throw by Curtis Painter.
8th interception of the season for Painter, and for Gamble, his 3rd interception this year. But he had Garcon with the steps, and Ryan, he let him maybe a touchdown, at least in the back of the end zone. 2 timeouts remain for the Colts. Panthers now have the football. Jonathan Stewart. Colts need to get a stop and get the football back.
Look at the game breakers. There's an opportunity now to get it within 3. He had exactly what he wanted. Painter with the man coverage and a little crossing route. Bad throw, poor execution. And then the big return. But Gillard, McAfee saves the day. They end up holding him to a field goal and keep it to a one-score game at 8 points. And then Painter with another opportunity and throws the interception.
If Steve Hartwell wants to get that first win of the year, they need a stop here. Second and 8. Pass is complete to Gonzell. Quickly on him to make the tackle. Terrence Thompson. It'll be 3rd down with a timeout.
Timeout. Indianapolis.
Colts will have 1 timeout remaining. With 3:33 to go. So if you're the Colts, Tim, and you're gonna stop here, obviously you need to touchdown of the 2 points.
Well, you're going to have to go hurry up for sure, and you're going to have to get better execution out of your quarterback. That's the bottom line. I mean, we saw Curtis Painter some big spots down on the goal line down here. He made the wrong read and made a decent throw, but it was the wrong read. Then the 2-point conversion, the right read, lack of execution, and then the long one, the interception right there to Reggie Wayne. The right read, lack of execution once again. So if the defense is able to hold him here and they do get the ball back, that quarterback's going to have to make some plays.
I know it's in the minds of Colts fans. We'll win this year again. Are the players, does that enter into it at all?
Absolutely it does. This is a game of confidence. And I get the feeling just from watching Curtis Painter that he doesn't have confidence in himself. And the players don't have a lot of confidence in him.
There's a flag as Steve Smith goes out of bounds with the football.
Be interesting to see how they call this if this one goes on Steve Smith.
And it is. Offensive pass interference. What a big call on 3rd down.
Captain Simmons, offense, number 89. 10-yard penalty, repeat, 3rd down.
Now can you decline it and make it 4th?
Here he is in the isolation. Gerard Powers. Just push off a little bit to get separation. Both hands overtly extended out.
Would you decline the penalty, though?
Absolutely. Well, would it be?
Well, he actually made the catch, is what they're saying. And you couldn't decline the penalty. I thought that was not common. That's what they're calling. What's he saying? He can check it on it. Okay.
Yeah, they didn't have the option to defend one way or the other.
They're saying he did stay in to make the catch. So now third and 14. There's empty call for Ron Rivera and Cam Newton going deep. Cam Newton is going to run. Short of the first down.
Wow, this was a crazy stunt up front by Indianapolis. Watch these two linemen here go, and then this one, and then Freeney all the way around comes unblocked right in the face of Cam Newton. And Cam able to sidestep them and then give Indianapolis credit, knowing where the first down marker was and coming up and giving themselves the tackle that they needed to force the punt.
And they used their last timeout so that the Panthers wouldn't run more time off the clock. But Jason Baker will kick to Pierre Garcon. Folks are out of timeout.
And let me tell you something. You look at Carolina. I got on Indianapolis and their inability to cover. Carolina's front coverage team has not been good this year. They've given up 3 touchdowns.
And fourth quarter leads for the Panthers that slip through their fingers. They don't want to be the one team that loses to the Colts. Garcon. No fair catch, but brought down in a hurry, and that was well covered by Jason Williams. A 44-yard punt just over the 3-minute mark and an 8-point Carolina lead. Fox tonight, cap off your holiday weekend with Animation Domination. It's all new. A full night of comedy that just keeps on giving. It's America's favorite funniest families. 7 Eastern, 6 Central on Fox. Tim and I wishing all of you a happy holiday weekend. Hope you enjoyed your Thanksgiving.
It'll be interesting here now in this biggest spot of the game where Curtis Painter can put those mistakes behind him, Chris, and execute and make some big plays.
From the pocket, his pass is complete. That is Pierre Garcon. First down for Indianapolis.
Great job by Garcon fighting and getting out of bounds. Stopping the clock.
His third catch of the day. Reggie Wayne has 4 to lead the Colts. Right at midfield, he falls to the 49. Dennis Garcon. It'll be second down 2. Chance you can run with Donald Brown who has 80 yards rushing.
I'll tell you what this hurry-up doing is just tiring out that pass rush for the Carolina Panthers.
Mr. Rush's picked up. On top, but caught by Austin Powell, who makes a nice move inside the 40. Touchdown Colts.
And Chris, because their pass rush is tiring, Ron Rivera's got to dial up a blitz, so he's got to end up sending a linebacker. James Anderson comes on a blitz. Curtis Painter's got man coverage, and he finds Austin Powell who gets big yards after the catch.
An 11-yard pick up the throw to Reggie Wayne. Caught it right there. On the spot for the tackle, Darius Butler. And Darius Butler in and out of the rotation with Stanford, making an important play at the 2-minute mark. And the wear and tear on the line and the receivers evident. Trailing by 8. Curtis Painter trying to pull this out from the 37-yard line. No timeout. Second down 9. Takes the one from the pocket, throws and complete. Donald Brown. He's got the play. And it was spotted right outside the play after a 17-yard gain. Pass. That's Austin Powell who gets out of bounds. 1:29 to go.
So now you got to start thinking the momentum certainly is swinging the other way. Curtis Painter's getting some confidence back. I like what Clyde Christensen has done with some of the short underneath passing game calls. And Ron Rivera and his defense, their confidence has got to be waning. They may have given up more points, Chris, in the fourth quarter than any team in the National Football League. 5 fourth-quarter leads they have not been able to hold on to defensively.
As long as they don't give up 8 here is what they're thinking. Pass is set. Gamble had a chance at another pick before it went into the third.
Oh, boy, they dodged the bullet there because that ball was tipped, and Gamble had a great opportunity to get it. He was trying to squeeze it in as the slant route, but you'll end up seeing 3 defenders around Pierre Garçon. So he tried to slam it right in there, and it was Charles Johnson who got the hand up and got the pass.
So now a third down. They're 1 of 8 on third down. This is obvious for that territory.
Jacob Tammy's the guy here in this read.
They need 5. Baylor has time. For the end zone. And it's complete. Pierre Garçon got his hands on it.
Jacob Tammy's the only guy who's got one-on-one coverage. Pierre Garçon's going to end up getting in the back of the end zone. Painter gives him a shot. And he had to elevate it up over the safety where Charles Godfrey was. Just on the fingertips of Pierre Garçon.
That's how close as Colts come back.
And the good job by Painter, knowing where that safety was and knowing he needed to elevate that ball.
Fourth down at 5. Painter complete. And that's going to be Austin Collins' first and goal. On 4th and 5, Taylor to Collins was close.
Collins is running away from Captain Munnerlyn. Would get Painter some credit. He has made some nice throws here on this final drive.
From the 3, first and goal. No timeouts, remember. For the Colts. End zone.
That's going to be pass interference on Godfrey or illegal contact.
Jacob Taylor just did.
Well, you can certainly hammer a guy inside 5 yards, but he was all over him.
Here, as the ball was thrown quickly.
There's the contact right there.
He
was inside 5 yards, so he's in the choke zone. He's allowed to do that, but he still have a hold of him when the ball's in the air. It looked like he did. That should have been pass interference.
I would agree on second and goal. Taylor, end zone, got it away, and did he intercept it? Yes. Off the hands of Austin Collins, Sherrod Martin came up with it for the pick.
What an incredible job by Sherrod Martin keeping his feet down.
How did he do that? And a tough break for Curtis Painter.
Now, give Painter some credit. He really gave them an opportunity in throwing some strikes and making the right read, calling on an in route. He's going to put this ball on him quick. A little bit behind Austin Collie. That would have been a tough catch.
Check the seats, and
they're going to have to
watch it upstairs.
Yeah, it's under 2 minutes, so they're going to watch it upstairs and see if that left foot of Sherrod Martin is out of bounds.
Howard Slavin on replay.
There's the pitch. There's that left foot's inbounds. He drags the right toe. What an incredible job by Sherrod Martin.
Here's a closer look in high definition.
You see him drag that right toe. What an incredible look.
He's missing it right there. So just to be sure, because the Colts comeback hangs in the balance, we'll review it. We welcome you back under review. The interception by Sherrod Martin. Greg Wilson, the back judge, was right there to watch the excellent footwork of Martin.
Yeah, you can't get any better.
Hearing the play, the running on the field is confirmed. It was an interception and a touchdown. Carolina's ball, first down, 20-yard line.
You can't do it any better if you're Sherrod Martin, and just having the awareness of knowing where your feet are. Give some credit to Charles Godfrey as well, that was part of the pass breakup. At the end of the day, it wasn't a great throw by Curtis Painter. It was a hard one to catch, and it was a little high and certainly behind Austin Collins.
So the Colts will switch to 0-11. And New England and Baltimore coming up. The Panthers will end that 12-game road losing skid And they will take that to Tampa before coming home to Charlotte against the Atlanta Falcons. Today's game produced by Mike Burke, our director Tom Yohe, associate director Brian Peterman, broadcast associate Matt Saldana, and the studio show produced by Bill Richards, directed by Bob Levy. Along with Tim Ryan and Chris Myers for all of our production staff, thanks for being with us, and we'll have